When we think of Sparta, we picture fierce warriors and legendary battles, tales of heroism and valor that have echoed through the ages. But the city's foundations were laid by lesser-known leaders, whose contributions were just as significant. One such figure is Polydorus, the 10th king from the Agiad dynasty, who ruled during a pivotal era in the late 8th century BC. His leadership was instrumental in shaping the early Spartan state. At that time, Sparta was not yet the dominant power in Greece. It was one of many states vying for influence and control over the region. Polydorus wasn't just a figurehead, he was a hands-on leader, both in war and politics, actively engaging in the affairs of the state. His reign from around 741 to 665 BC was marked by dramatic change and the forging of Sparta's unique identity, setting the stage for its future dominance. He oversaw military campaigns that expanded Spartan territory, securing its borders and increasing its influence, and introduced legal reforms that shaped its government for centuries, ensuring a stable and effective administration. Polydorus understood that military victory alone wasn't enough. A strong state needed stable laws and balanced power, a vision he worked tirelessly to achieve. His contributions to Spartan governance are perhaps his most lasting legacy, influencing the structure of Spartan society for generations. He helped refine the dual kingship, a unique system that balanced power between two rulers, and the system that kept Sparta stable even in crisis, ensuring continuity and resilience. To appreciate Polydorus, we must look beyond the battlefield and see the strategist and statesman whose vision and reforms laid the groundwork for Sparta's future greatness. His story is a crucial chapter in the rise of Sparta, a testament to the power of visionary leadership. Understanding his reign is key to understanding how Sparta became the legend we know today, a city-state that left an indelible mark on history. In ancient Sparta, the concept of kingship was deeply intertwined with the city's traditions and its sense of identity. A king's legitimacy was rooted in his lineage, with ancestry serving as the foundation of his right to rule. Polydorus came from the Agiad dynasty, one of Sparta's two royal families, claiming descent from the mythical Heracles, a powerful source of authority and pride for the Spartans. His father, King Alcmenas, set the stage for the conflicts Polydorus would face, shaping his early years with lessons in leadership and duty. The crown passed from father to son, ensuring stability and continuity in a world where power could easily be challenged. When Polydorus became king, he was the next link in a chain stretching back into legend, carrying the hopes and expectations of generations before him. His son, Eurycrates, would succeed him, continuing the dynasty and the traditions that defined Spartan royalty. Polydorus's role was not just to rule, but to secure the future for his heirs, and for Sparta itself, ensuring the city's strength and unity. He raised Eurycrates in the strict Spartan tradition, preparing him for kingship through discipline, training, and the values of their ancestors. Every decision Polydorus made was shaped by the weight of his ancestry and the need to uphold his family's honor, knowing that his actions would echo through history. He fought and governed with the knowledge that his actions would define his son's inheritance and the legacy of the Agiad line. For Polydorus, kingship was both a personal duty and a sacred trust, a responsibility to his family, his people, and the enduring spirit of Sparta. Polydorus's reign coincided with the First Messenian War, a turning point for Sparta. Before this conflict, Sparta was just another regional power. The conquest of Messenia transformed it into the dominant force in the Peloponnese. Controlling the Helots, the subjugated Messenians, became Sparta's central challenge, shaping its militaristic society. Polydorus and his co-king Theopompus responded by refining Sparta's government to meet these new demands. The wealth from Messenia allowed Spartans to focus solely on military training, creating the professional soldier. This era marked Sparta's divergence from other Greek city-states, setting it on a unique and often brutal path. The decisions and reforms of Polydorus's reign echoed for centuries, fueling both Sparta's glory and its eventual decline. He stood at a crossroads, and the path he chose defined Sparta's destiny. His story shows how one generation's choices can shape a nation for centuries. The First Messenian War didn't erupt overnight. Tensions had simmered for years. Stories of murder and border disputes fueled animosity, but the real cause was Sparta's hunger for land. The fertile plains of Messenia were too tempting for a growing Spartan population. Polydorus inherited this volatile situation and led Sparta into a war decades in the making. The conflict began with a surprise attack on the fortified town of Ampheia, deep in Messenian territory. This bold move secured a foothold for further campaigns and set a brutal tone for the war. As Agiad king, Polydorus was a key military commander, planning and executing Spartan strategy. He and Theopompus had to convince the Spartan assembly that war was necessary. The decision to invade was momentous, and the fate of Sparta hung in the balance. The First Messenian War would test Polydorus's leadership like nothing before. The assault on Ampheia was a defining moment in the history of the First Messenian War, a bold move that would echo through generations. Polydorus and Theopompus, the two kings of Sparta, led their warriors in a daring night attack, risking everything to seize the initiative. The town sentries, unprepared for such audacity, were caught off guard. The Spartans stormed in, overwhelming the defenders and taking the town with ruthless efficiency and speed. This was no ordinary battle. It was a calculated act of terror, designed to shatter Messenian morale and break their resistance before the war had truly begun. Polydorus wasn't a distant ruler. He led from the front, fighting alongside his men and earning his authority through personal bravery and example. The capture of Ampheia gave Sparta a crucial foothold in enemy territory, providing a strategic base for future operations and sending a clear message to their enemies. The unique dual kingship of Sparta required Polydorus and Theopompus to work together, balancing bold aggression with careful caution in every decision. Their partnership was a key strength, allowing for shared leadership and preventing any one king from gaining too much power, a system that kept Sparta stable even in times of war. The fall of Ampheia marked the true beginning of a long, brutal war, and its ruins stood as a grim warning to all who might oppose Sparta. For Polydorus, this victory was more than just a conquest, it was a statement of intent. Sparta would stop at nothing to achieve its goals, no matter the cost. The town became a symbol of Spartan ambition and Messenian suffering, its fate remembered long after the battle was over. This opening strike set the stage for the eventual Spartan victory and the transformation of their society, forging a legacy of discipline and dominance that would define Sparta for centuries to come. Sparta's dual kingship was unique. Two kings from rival dynasties ruled together. Polydorus of the Agiad line shared power with Theopompus of the Eurypontids. This system was designed to prevent tyranny and ensure balance. During the First Messenian War, their cooperation was crucial. Theopompus was known for aggression, Polydorus for prudence. Their partnership balanced Sparta's approach. Together they led the army, consulted on strategy, and shared the burdens of leadership. The kings also served as chief priests and judges, overseeing religious and legal matters. Their collaboration kept Sparta stable even during war. The dual monarchy wasn't without challenges. Rivalry could lead to conflict, but in this era, it worked. Their joint leadership provided the direction needed for victory. The reign of Polydorus and Theopompus is a prime example of how Sparta's unusual system could be a source of strength. Their partnership helped steer Sparta through one of its most critical periods. Polydorus's reign was also a time of constitutional change. The pressures of war exposed weaknesses in Sparta's political system. Polydorus and Theopompus amended the Great Rhetra, the foundation of Spartan law. Their reform gave the kings and the Gerousia, the Council of Elders, the power to veto decisions by the assembly. This shift strengthened the aristocracy and ensured stable, decisive leadership. The amendment was a direct response to the challenges of governing a militarized, expanding state. Polydorus's wisdom helped convince Spartans to accept this change for the sake of security. This reform created the conservative, oligarchic system that defined Sparta for centuries. Polydorus's role in this constitutional evolution is one of his most enduring legacies. The name Polydorus appears in both history and myth, leading to confusion. King Polydorus of Sparta was a real ruler in the 8th century BC, but there's also a mythical Polydorus, the youngest son of King Priam of Troy, whose tragic story is told in epic poetry. The mythical Polydorus was murdered for gold after being sent away for safety during the Trojan War. His tale is one of betrayal and sorrow, a symbol of the horrors of war. It's important to distinguish between the historical king and the literary character. King Polydorus shaped the destiny of a real city-state through action and leadership. The mythical Polydorus serves as a cautionary tale about greed and loss. Both figures reflect the richness of Greek tradition, but their stories serve very different purposes. For us, separating myth from history is key to understanding the real impact of King Polydorus. Polydorus may not be a household name, but his legacy is woven into the fabric of Sparta. He guided Sparta through transformation, leading it to become Greece's most formidable military power. The conquest of Messenia and the creation of the Helot system underpinned Sparta's unique society. His reforms with Theopompus reveal a genius for political innovation and stability. Polydorus embodied the complex role of a Spartan king, warrior, priest, judge, and statesman. His leadership during the 20-year war forced Sparta to reinvent itself. The balance of power he helped create lasted for centuries. He was remembered as a mild-tempered, well-loved king who presided over brutal conquest. This paradox reflects Sparta itself: order and justice for citizens, ruthlessness abroad. Polydorus's reign is a key to unlocking the secrets of one of history's most fascinating societies.